Hey guys, it feels great to be back. Jumping into Logic here to do another tutorial for you. Using ghost notes in Logic to sidechain your instruments. So if you've heard of ghost notes before and you're not sure what it is, don't worry. I'm going to talk about what ghost notes are and everything you need to know about how to add a ghost note so you can use it for the purpose of sidechaining. So I'm going to kind of skip on what sidechaining is, and we're just going to dive into an example right now with using a synth and a sub bass, and we're going to use ghost notes to sidechain these instruments so we can add some rhythm to it. So if you have an instrument that's kind of flat and just sustains its sound and you want to add some rhythm, you can do this through sidechaining with ghost notes. So let's jump into it. I have this Juno here. I'm just going to turn this on. This is what we're going to sidechain. This is without anything. And I want to add a sub bass to this, so I'll just add that. Quantize the sub bass. Just overlap that though, so there's not a pop at the beginning. So now let's sidechain these with ghost notes to provide more rhythm. So we need to now add this ghost note. What is it, right? It's called a ghost note because eventually, well, not eventually, it's just going to be muted. It's going to be like a ghost. It won't make any sound, but the MIDI data is still there. So we're going to add a software instrument track, and we'll open up our library and open up a drum kit. Just a Bluebird, it doesn't matter. It can be any MIDI note. It doesn't even need to be drums, but I'm going to talk about it with the purpose of doing it with a kick, because eventually you might want to sidechain something to your real kick. Let's open up the editor, and I'm going to look for the kick down here. There's a kick. I'm just going to do a 4 on the floor pattern. Also, it can be any pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Highlight these and do Command R. I'll do Command R to the region up there, and Command J on both of those to join those. So now we have this kick, right? So basically now we want to make this a ghost. So this will be our ghost kick. Let's say ghost kick. And how we're going to make it a ghost is go down to stereo out and change this to no output. Now when we play this, you won't hear the kick anymore. Right? Even though it's green, it's not playing because there's no output. Well, let's go a step further and make it a true ghost by pressing H on our keyboard and then hiding this track and pressing H again. And now it's completely a ghost. Okay, now we need to connect both of these tracks to our ghost track. And we do this through a compressor. Let's do our bass first. Let's add a compressor. Let's do a classic VCA. No reason for that, just like that compressor. And here's the kind of magic link here. It's sidechain. Under this drop down, we're going to search for our ghost kick because we actually named it ghost kick. You can go down to instrument, and there it is, ghost kick. Input would be input and bus would be if you made it a bus, but it should be instrument if it's a MIDI note. There it is, ghost kick. Let's just solo the bass right now so you can hear the sidechain cycle at the top. And every time you can hear the bass wobble now, right? Watch if I make this even more drastic, you're gonna hear it. What's happening there is whenever that ghost kick, that note is being played, it's basically cutting into the bass signal. And so that gives it this wobbly effect. And what I was saying here is, let's bring our ghost kick back up by pressing H. And we can just get into it again here. It doesn't always have to be a 4 on the floor pattern. You can do any rhythmic pattern you want. If you want it to be, whatever it is here, it's you basically draw in a rhythmic pattern that you want how the bass to move. So if I just by doing that little change, listen to the bass now. Hear that at the beginning? That first note is a little loud. So I'll just play it from here. Wow. You hear that note at the beginning, it's because of these 3 notes. So you can have any pattern you would like. Let's do the same process with our Juno. We can go add a compressor, same thing. Look for our ghost kick in the sidechain drop down. Now, I'll kind of explain what these do. If you know how a compressor works, great. I would say have this around 3, in between 3 and 4 is good. The lower you go in the threshold, the more it's going to wobble, you could say. The more it's going to cut away at the signal. So if we just solo the Juno and if we had the threshold to 0, nothing is going to happen. This needle won't even jump. Actually, it's just jumping a tiny bit, but as soon as we bring this up, now this needle is really going to bounce. And I don't like that rhythm I edited there, so I'm just going to quickly change that back into a 4 on the floor. There we go. That is providing a lot more, it's making the Juno more exciting, and it makes the bass a bit more exciting because it's providing a bit of movement in the track that can be in your song. So apply this to any instrument, and you can get really creative to what kind of patterns you use for the sidechaining, how much you use it. You can automate it. You can use this on vocals. The principle of sidechaining can be used in many different aspects throughout music production. Another great example is to actually take your vocal and sidechain the reverb to your vocal. So when your vocal is singing, your vocal reverb gets quiet, and when you stop singing, it gets louder. Maybe I'll make another lesson to do that in a different video, because that's also a really cool trick. As soon as you start to get the idea and the practice of sidechaining, you can get really quite creative with it. So that's what ghost notes are. And you see here, if we hide it, you never have to look at it. It's just a ghost that lives behind your DAW, has no output, but you can attach it to different instruments to provide rhythm. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, I hope to see you in the next video. And yeah, thanks for watching.